right. So it's Friday. It's the end of my show. I'm going home. My work day is over. I'm going to chill, relax, put my feet up. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. MFR Power, on the other hand, just started work. So she'll be here till the evening. Life is not fair, is it? No, it's not. But it's Friday. I'm sure at some point you'll get off work, and I hope that you have a fantastic weekend. And if you're looking for reasons to be angry, well, you'll find plenty of them. Instead, look for reasons to be joyful and see them everywhere. Give joy, love, respect, understanding, creativity, and good cheer, and you'll get much of the same. Your outlook is more than just what you think of the world. It's what you make of the world, of your life. And you have every reason to make it the best you can imagine. Stay safe out there. A very big thank you to DJ Wubete for the music, to Philip Nye, to Anita for production, to our social media team, and everybody who makes the Cosmopolitan Mix as fun as it is. My name is Enimwa Enimado, and I'm signing out not just for today, but Dorinando is back on Monday. So yeah, it means I can close earlier. It's so amazing. Anyway, Doreen is back on Mondays. Thank you so much for choosing us every morning from 10 a.m. to noon. I choose you right back. Have a great weekend.
This tune is making
Joy 99.7 FM. Joy 99.7 FM.
I could like spend my lifetime with somebody like you. Somebody like you. It be treasure I have found in somebody like you. Somebody like you. My baby, your love I dey carry for my heart.
Joy
My baby,
99.7
the feeling they be me like potato. My baby, if you give me the ring, I go collect you. My baby, oh mama, oh mama. I'm coming home. Tell Papa, yeah. Coming home. Baby, no delay. Take my hand, oh, carry me go away. Cover, it's for life, oh. If I tell you, say I love you. Take my hand, oh, carry me go away. Cover, it's for life, oh. If I tell you, I go like spend my lifetime with only you, baby.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Even love said you're tired with me and you, baby. Let me get it off my chest. Not only you come correct, I no one get regret. So baby, don't forget tattoo my name on top your chest. Not only you come correct, I no one get regret. So baby, don't forget. Oh mama, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Tell Papa, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. Baby, don't delay. Take my hand, oh, carry me go away. It's for life, oh. If I tell you, say I love you. Take my hand, oh, carry me go away. It's for life, oh. If I tell you, say I love you.
Hello, class. Mental. What is 2 and 3?
23!
2 and 4.
24!
2 and 5.
Sonata!
It's been 25 amazing years with you. And to celebrate this huge milestone, we're giving away 25 brand new sleek Hyundai Sonata vehicles and lots of exciting prizes in the MTN at 25 promo. Just keep using your MTN number and talk, text, browse, and Momo more to gain points. And you could win one of 25 brand new sleek Hyundai Sonata vehicles and lots of cash prizes each month in the MTN at 25 promo. Dial *156# today and begin your journey to win big. Only on MTN. Everywhere you go.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Midday News.
The news is live around the world on myjoyonline.com. We are coming to you live from our studios here at Kokomlemle Joy 99.7 FM here in Accra. In Kumasi, we are live on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Buipe FM in Buipe, Amenuveve FM in Aflao, Radio Free in Nandom, and ATL FM in Cape Coast. In this edition, 2 police officers in critical condition after a deadly accident in Northeast region last night, which also left 2 officers dead. We are live in the region as the IGP leads a high-powered police delegation to the area. Also in this edition,
and pass the bylaw, which will call Operation Clean Your Frontage. Everybody will be responsible for their frontage.
This afternoon, city authorities in Accra launched new sanitation bylaws which could land offenders 6 months in jail as government. We have all the details in that, what is codenamed Operation Clean Your Frontage. And who do you blame for the current state of unemployment in Ghana?
Yes, there are challenges in employment, and it is because of what we have. If you have a government that cannot have integrity in its own projects and programs.
NPP General Secretary John Boydu puts the blame squarely at the doorstep of the SWAL NDC administration. This afternoon, we get a reaction. And do not think of coup. Despite many challenges facing Ghana, Bishop Charles Ajinasare implores military in the wake of some military takeovers in the West African sub-region.
In our dear country, Ghana, we don't want the men in uniform to be in politics. In short, we don't want a coup d'etat. Is it that we don't have problems like we see in the sub-region? We do have the same problems.
We have details also in sports.
President of the Confederation of African Football, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, says that there is a possibility member associations participating in their competitions could make a lot of gains from tournaments.
And later in showbiz, 3 Ghanaian celebrities behind bars in less than a week. Show of force or IGP's message to all that none is above the law.
IGP said they arrest. They for start arrest people like that. People for good day inside. 3 months, 2 months at least. That be okay for musicians and celebrities and people with it full for entertainment. Call me your IGP. Salute to me anytime. Yes, I'm outside.
We're bringing you a report plus the latest on rapper Medical's arrest as police prepare him for court for brandishing a gun on social media. We have that and more in this edition. With me, Emefa Apao. Many thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, 2 police officers are battling for their lives in hospital after sustaining threatening injuries in an accident last night. They were part of 5 officers chasing suspecting armed robbers on the Waliwali Bolga Road when their vehicle plunged into a tree. 2 died on the spot. This morning, the IGP and 2 police officers are in the region as investigations get underway into that particular incident. Northeast correspondent Ilyas Otanko has more.
The Director General of Public Affairs confirmed the incident in a statement. Eyewitnesses, however, claimed the officers were pursuing robbers when their vehicle suddenly veered off the road, somersaulted multiple times before crashing into a ditch after the driver allegedly attempted to dodge an approaching vehicle. They were rushed to the Waliwali Hospital where the 2 were confirmed dead and the other serious injured. Both the bodies and the injured were later transferred to the Tamale Teaching Hospital and were being prepared to be airlifted to Accra for further examinations, according to the police. Several police officers thronged the Waliwali Government Hospital to catch a glimpse of their injured as well as former colleagues before they were taken away. Chairman of the Municipal Security Council was also at the hospital, but none of them was willing to speak with the media. It also comes as hundreds of security personnel are deployed in Waliwali ahead of the performance of the final funeral rite for the late mother of the Vice President, who is also the chairman of the National Police Council. Ilyas Otanko reporting.
And that's our colleague Ilyas Otanko with that incident earlier. Well, the IGP is currently in the northern regional capital, Tamale, where the injured are being treated. I'll take you live now to Tamale and Waliwali as well, because Martina Bugri is our correspondent in the northern region, and Ilyas Otanko is in the northeast region for us. I'll start with you, Martina. First, tell us about the IGP's visit to the victims.
The IGP arrived this morning and came straight to the Tamale Teaching Hospital, where the 2 officers were on admission. he helped facilitate the process, and then they have just moved out of the hospital and they are heading to the airport. We are told that a chopper is ready, waiting for them, and as soon as they arrive at the airport, they will be airlifted to Accra. We are also told that they are coming along with the two who are dead.
Well, but I'm sure he's been interacting with them. Has he been saying anything at all about this incident?
The IGP himself didn't speak. He delegated the regional crime officer to speak, and he says that the officers were from Accra in the area to support in the fight against the robbery, which has increased in especially the Bolga-Tamale Highway. And so the families are actually in shock, and we're not ready to speak to the media yet, but they would continue to be liaising with the media while they ensure they counsel their family to accept what has just happened. So probably subsequently, the families will be ready to speak.
Okay. Well, Ilyasu, also this incident, at least the number of robberies we've recorded in the area is such a big issue for residents. So what have they been telling you?
Your call has been put on hold.
Residents and the police officers are telling me that they are very confused right now. As you mentioned, there have been a lot of robbery cases in the area. And only last year, one of the police vehicles also had an accident, killing one officer and then also injuring 3 others. So this is the reason why the then IGP deployed this special unit to help the local police here to contain the situation. But as I speak to you right now, the police officers that I've been interacting with say they are very confused. Now all their vehicles have been grounded, and now what they are expecting the IGP to come to Wale Wale and speak to them on the way how to control the crime in the area, because apparently they say they lack vehicle. The only vehicle that was in operation also had an accident yesterday, and so they are very confused, waiting for the IGP to come and tell them something on how to go about the prevention of crime in the municipality.
But whilst they wait for the IGP to do that, we know that the increasing spate of robberies on the Wale Wale Bolga Road is of concern to these residents. Is it a situation that the police has under control?
Well, for some time now, the situation has been calm. Earlier on, especially somewhere last year, we had about 30 armed robbery cases only in the Wale Wale municipality. And this year, too, we recorded some robbery cases. But for some months now, the situation has come. But the residents are aware of the difficulty of the police. They are aware that the police do not have resources and they are understaffed. And so always what they do, or what the call to the authority has been to retool the police so that they can perform their duties well in the municipality.
Okay, that's my colleague Ilyasu Tanko there, Northeast Regional Correspondent. And also earlier we heard Martina Bugri, who is our Northern Regional Correspondent, bringing us up to speed on the IGP's visit to these victims following that incident in Wale Wale. Well, this afternoon also, you could be facing at least 6 months of prison time if you are found to have breached sanitation bylaws in Accra. All 29 district assemblies in the Greater Accra region have passed the Operation Clean Your Frontage bylaws, which orders owners of buildings to be responsible for cleaning their frontage. This afternoon, President Akufo-Addo is expected to commission a task force to ensure the bylaws under the Let's Make Accra Work agenda being spearheaded by the Regional Minister, Henry Quartey.
And thanks to the bylaw, which we'll call Operation Clean Your Frontage, everybody will be responsible for their frontage. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, it is important to note that all these initiatives and the logistical boosts will not yield the desired results if we do not put in extra efforts to change people's attitudes towards the environment. It is therefore important to engage in constant education, enforcement of our bylaws, and also having all hands on deck. And I must say, Accra indeed will work. Every one of us has a role to play in achieving this.
That's a Greater Accra Regional Minister Henry Cote. I'll take you live to the Independence Square shortly for that commissioning of the task force. But first, though, my colleague Manuel Crantin joins me to deal with details of that particular bylaw. Manuel, so which people are being targeted by these bylaws?
So, MFR, the main targets are owners or occupiers of residential buildings, commercial and industrial buildings, and also public or private office buildings. Now, they are expected to be in charge of cleaning the space right in front of the buildings that they occupy.
So, let's talk about the sanctions contained in the law.
Indeed. So, Section 8 of the bylaw says that a person who contravenes this bylaw commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine not less than 100 penalty units and not more than 250 penalty units, or a term of imprisonment of not less than 6 months and not more than 12 months, or both the fine and imprisonment. And of course, that is also liable to a further penalty of not more than 1 penalty unit in the case of a continuing offense for each day on which the offense is continued after written notice of the offense has been served on the offender.
Well, let's bring in Presidential Affairs Correspondent Elton Brobe, who is at the Independence Square, joins us on the line with more. So, Elton, we know that these bylaws are kicking in today, and the President is expected to commission that task force who would be enforcing these bylaws. Tell us more.
So, apart from the outdooring of the sanitary inspectors whose job will be to visit houses and ensure compliance with the bylaws, on Tuesday, the minister would again launch another project, and that will be to rid the city of tricycles, also known as Abuboya, and then to ensure that they do not operate within the inner cities, the inner city of Accra. But ahead of that, they are looking at exploring ways where they can still be viable in their economic activities, even though they will not be allowed anymore from Tuesday to fly on the roads here in the Greater Accra region.
Well, we know the President has also been meeting with the GA Traditional Council as part of his tour. What has he been saying?
So the meeting just got underway. The government chair, Lee Sekichu II, who this week was inducted into the Greater Accra Regional House of Chiefs, is currently delivering his welcome address. Now, he mentioned the fact that he's happy President Akufo-Addo appointed the first female mayor for the Greater Accra region, because for him it is in line with the traditional authorities' initiative to encourage more females within the state to pursue higher education. But more importantly, he wants to collaborate with government to resolve the many chieftaincy issues within the GA state. For him, this is a call that is determined to ensure that there is peace within the GA traditional state. This is where some of the things that he told President Akufo-Addo in his welcome address. We are here to hear the response from President Akufo-Addo.
That's the Presidential Affairs Correspondent Elton Brobe. Now, it's been 2 years since Assistant Commissioner of Police Dr. Benjamin Agojo was interdicted by the police administration following his alleged involvement in a coup plot. Dr. Agojo and 9 others have since been charged with high treason by the state. But for over a year now, ACP Agojo has been in court seeking to be fully reinstated by the police administration, even as the high treason trial continues. According to him, his continuous interdiction is unlawful. As per police regulations, any such interdiction of a police officer must be revoked after 3 months if no internal disciplinary proceedings is held against such officers. My colleague Kweku Asante was in court today. He joins us in studio with details. Kweku, before you give us details of what happened in court today, give us a briefing or a brief understanding of this particular case.
All right. So since 2019, Dr. Agojo has been in interdiction, and according to the police, because he's a senior police officer, he and 9 others were alleged to have been engaged in a plot to destabilize the country and also remove President Akufo-Addo as president, as engaged in a coup d'etat. And so, since this case, the police has interdicted him to say that he has been suspended, but he has been in court for over a year now, trying to get the court to overturn that, because according to him and his lawyers, per certain procedures in the police administration, he ought, after 3 months, be reinstated as a police officer. The police obviously disagree with this, and this battle has been in court for over a year now.
Okay, so this case was in court today. Let's talk about it. What transpired?
So the state was not present in court today, but at the last agenda date, the lawyer for Dr. Agojo, Mr. Martin Pebu, had indicated to the court that he was going to furnish the judge with some court documents that will prove their assertion that after 3 months, if no internal disciplinary proceedings were being held against the officer, he must be reinstated. And so in court today, he gave the judge 6 authorities to rely on to back his case. The case has now been adjourned to 22nd November for the trial to continue.
Okay, but was ACP Agojo himself
in
court?
He was in court today. We tried to get some word from him, but he says that he wants to hold on for now.
Okay, thank you very much, Kwekwa Sante, reporting from the court today. Now, founder and head of the Prayers Chapel, Bishop Charles Agyinasare, has cautioned the military against indulging in unlawful takeovers despite the many unresolved challenges facing the ordinary Ghanaian. According to him, the prevailing conditions, which have seen increased coups and coup attempts in the sub-region, are the same issues affecting the citizenry, citing amongst others the ill-gotten wealth of politicians, abnormal salary increment of the executive arm of government, plus the mismanagement of the economy. He's been speaking at the annual Security Services National Day of Prayer held at the Garrison Methodist Presbyterian Church at Bema Camp here in Accra.
Once many of these politicians came to power, they became autocratic or tin gods who could not be criticized without unleashing their attack dogs on the critics. Some governments have also turned the civil and public service upside down by sacking competent people and replacing them with party faithfuls, some of whom are very incompetent. The governments also engaged and pretended over economic mismanagement. People's protests constantly fell on deaf ears and did not result in any meaningful change. It also shows that the people's demand for change does not just lie in the ECOWAS heads of states always sanctioning coups when they happen, but rather advising the heads of states to also abide by their constitutional mandates and not to make the nation about themselves without considering the people and their suffering.
That's the head of Perez Chapel International, Bishop Charles Agyinasare, speaking to the military today during their annual Security Services National Day of Prayer held at the Garrison Methodist Presbyterian Church at Bema Camp here in Accra. Now we'll talk about the NPP now, turn our attention to politics, because General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party, John Boadu, says the employment challenges confronting the country should be attributed to some bad decisions taken by the previous government. According to him, the Eswal Mahama-led government agreed to some terms and conditions proposed by the IMF, which are inimical to the development of the country's youth. Speaking at the Volta Regional NPP Delegates Annual Conference in Ho, Mr. Boadu explained that the Akufo-Addo administration seeks to tackle the unemployment challenges through industrialization.
Yes, there are challenges in employment, and it is because of what we inherit. If you have a government that cannot have integrity in its own projects and programs and will just surrender the country to IMF and accept conditions that are inimical, particularly to the betterment of our youth, for close to 5 years. Even the NAPCO that we brought, that has taken close to 100,000 people, is not enough.
So that's the General Secretary of the NPP, John Boadu. Well, the NDC disagrees. Let me bring in Sami Jemfi, the Communications Officer of the NDC. Thanks so much for your time here on the Midday News there. So you've heard the General Secretary of the NPP, bad decisions has brought us where we are. In fact, these decisions were taken by the previous government, the NDC. You agree?
Well, I think the comments we just heard from the General Secretary of the NPP only shows that the incumbent NPP Bawumia Akufo-Addo government is totally clueless and hopelessly incompetent relative to job creation. And I would even want to go on and add that what John Boadu has said means that this government is a very useless government, and they have no business being where they are. Because these are a group of people who, whilst in opposition in 2016, made several promises to the youth and people of this country that they were going to create sustainable jobs when elected. The people listened to them and gave them a mandate almost free of this country. They've had more tax revenue than any government in the history of this country. They borrowed more than any government in the history of this country. Blaming the previous NDC Mahama administration for the high rate of unemployment in the country, then it is because they are clueless, hopelessly incompetent. 2 months ago, that is in the run-up to the 2020 elections, stood on a political platform and promised the youth of this country that President Akufo-Addo was going to create so many jobs under his second term that we will even have to import people from foreign countries to come and work in Ghana. What has happened in the last 10 months? That John Boadu is seeking to now blame President Mahama for the high rate of unemployment.
Mr. Gyamfi, briefly though, I would want to find out, is it inaccurate that the Mahama-led government agreed to some terms and conditions proposed by the IMF, which the NPP now thinks that is inimical to the development of the country's youth?
It is not only inaccurate, it is nonsensical. Because number one, the IMF program we joined in the year 2015 didn't have any conditionalities about employment freeze, as they would have Ghanaians to believe. That's number one. Number two, that IMF program was supposed to end in 2018. In fact, it was supposed to end in 2017. They rather came and extended it for another 1 year and actually benefited, from, the subsequent tranches of that facility. So how do you come and extend a program you claim, is the reason for the high unemployment situation we have in the country?
Okay, we're grateful. We'll have to leave it here, Mr. Gyamfi. Thank you so much for your time here on the Midday News. And you're live on Joy 99.7 FM and also over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions. Also on myjoyonline.com. We're also live on Facebook. Our top story so far: 2 police officers in critical condition after a deadly accident in Northeast region last night. We'd also left 2 officers dead. We're bringing you details of the IGP's high-powered delegation to the region. And then also city authorities in Accra launched new sanitation bylaws which could land offenders up to 6 months in jail as government launches that program. We have all the details. We've been bringing you that on that code-named Operation Clean Your Frontage. When we return from the break, we have sports and then also 3 Ghanaian celebrities behind bars in less than a week. Is there a show of force or IGP's message to all that none is above the law?
ITP said they for start arrest people like that. People for good day inside. 3 months, 2 months at least. That be okay for musicians and celebrities and people who do it for entertainment. Call me your ITP. Salute to me anytime. Yes, I'm a
This bulletin is live in the Volta region on Jubilee Radio Keta, Volta Premier and Kekali Radio in Ho, Lolonyo FM in Hohoi, Pando FM in Pando, Fafa Radio in Joje, Radio Hogba in Angloga, Klenam Radio Bato, Victory FM Aplao. In the Eastern region, we're on K-Poly Radio in Kofrodia. In the Northern region, we're on Bishara Radio, Radio 123 and Radio Justice in Tamale. And in Savannah region, we're on Inkelege FM in Bole. In the Upper East region, we're live on A1 Radio and Dreams FM in Bogatanga and Radio Fumbese in Fumbese. In Upper West, we're live on Radio Sonmale in Wa, Radio Freed in Nandom, Radio Wa in Wa, and Bolu FM in Bolu. In the Bono East region, we're on Gaskia FM in Techiman. In Bono region, we're on Sky FM and Parrots FM in Sunyai. Central region, we're live on ATL FM in Cape Coast. And in the Western region, we're on Radio Max in Takrady.
Many thanks for staying with us. Let's do sports. Motal.
President of the Confederation of African Football, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, says that the proposed African Super League presents CAF and its members an opportunity to receive better financial gains as compared to already existing competition. The president indicated that the existing competitions do not reward association members sufficiently, and he says Super Cup is the solution.
I can assure you the Super League has to benefit everybody. Meaning even those nations that may not have clubs that are participating in the Super League. What is behind the Super League? Fundamental recognition of the potential of the Super League to generate funding and finance, and to ensure that that funding and finance that we get from the Super League does not only accrue to those clubs that are part of that, but also finds its way into every single one of the 54 member associations or every one of the 54 nations that are part of CAF. Agreements, the competitions that are currently underway, I mean, they were concluded many years ago. And as I said, some of those agreements, I've got no doubt in my mind that the money that the member associations should be getting should be significantly more.
That is CAF President Dr. Patrice Motsepe.
Thank you very much, Muftau. Now, this week has been awash with news of not one, but 3 Ghanaian celebrities, all apprehended by the police for various offences. The arrest of comedian Funny Face sparked the strength of these arrests. The latest celebrity to face the law is rapper Medical, known in private life as Samuel Edufrempong, who police arrested yesterday for brandishing a gun on social media. So with 3 Ghanaian celebrities behind bars in less than a week, we ask, is this a show of force or the IGP's message to all that none is above the law?
The viral video showing Funny Face, known in private life as Benson Nanodro Boateng, in which the comedian was seen threatening to kill his ex-wife. In an interview before his arrest, he blamed the situation on his illness.
This is what happens. You guys will be knocking, you hear the voices, you want to reply, and that is when it's gradually a dogoko.
Police picked him up subsequently, and a court ordered that he be subjected to psychiatric care. The dust had barely settled on this matter when news of Shatta Wale's alleged shooting hit the internet. His close aides claimed he was shot by unidentified gunmen following a prophecy by a man of God. Shatta Wale turned himself in later, explaining the hoax shooting incident was intended to ensure the police apprehend men of God who engage in alleged fake prophecies.
IGP said they arrest, they for start arrest people like that. Because the entertainment industry people for good day inside. 3 months, 2 months at least, that be okay for musicians and celebrities and people who did show for entertainment.
Perhaps he had predicted his own arrest, but that was the musician months before his arrest calling on police to arrest some celebrities. Well, his arrest sparked a social media frenzy with the hashtag #FreeShattaWale, driven mainly by his colleagues in the music industry, particularly rapper Medical. In a bizarre twist of events, the rapper also found himself on the wrong side of the law yesterday when the police arrested him for brandishing a gun on social media. So, is this the IGP's message to all that none is above the law? Some on social media have described him as a proactive and progressive leader and are urging him on, whilst others say it's early days yet.
Call me your IGP, salute to me anytime. Yes, I'm hi.
Well, so that's a news desk report there. But what do you make of these arrests? That's the question we pose to some people on the streets of Accra.
I mean, I believe it could be a flash in the pan. Yeah, it maybe once in a while they do this thing to show that they are around. I don't believe it could be always so.
There should be some sanity in the system. For showing a gun.
Shatta was just trying to play a smart game in showbiz, okay, but I think he got it wrong at this time. And having Dan Parry leading us now, I think those things, our showbiz personalities, they have to limit it.
I think now better things, measures are being put in place to minimize this kind of too known. I'm well known, like people know me, I have following. Hey, you are following, but when the time comes, the following will come and shout, oh, free him. But when you get into the cells or wherever you be, nobody will come with you.
Well, police are expected to put rapper Medical before court after he was arrested for brandishing a gun on social media. Mapitso Sibidi is on this beat for us. He joins us on the line. Mapitso, has Medical been charged?
Hi, MFR. So Medical hasn't been charged. They are still deciding which court will handle the case.
Okay, well, we'll be following you on that. That's Mapitso Sibidi with the latest from the court today. And that's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News here on Joy 99.7 FM. Stories on myjoyonline.com also. ACP Agojo's fight to revoke his interdiction as police officer suffers another court issue. And then also 2 police officers die in high-speed chase, 3 others injured. And then minority to file a motion seeking answers on the state of E-Block project. Bishop Charles Janasare cautions against military takeovers in spite of hardship. That's and more on myjoyonline.com. We have Living Word with Pastor Menzel Tabil. Here a little, there a little. Many thanks for your company. I am MFA Pau.
Hello, please, am I speaking to Miss Joanna Kuma?
Yes, please.
My name is Philip and I'm calling from MTN.